Welcome back. This is Maurice Dimba, and let's continue on the part of gable side. And the next step we want to create, where we want to create the end plate connection manually on the side of gable. So this is part 9, and we are from part 8, where we are creating connection on the gable side of this curved truss. Now, where we left is on this section where I had showed you how we can create a plate here. So the next step we want to do, we want to create plates that will help us in placement of bolts. Now, we want first of all to mark this plate or mark the location of the bolts. So the tool that will help us in creating the points is the point tool here. And to get the point tool, we come to edit, and we'll be able to get the points here. So the other options here, if you click this drop down arrow under point, and we can pick on this one. So prior to that, we want to transfer these points. We want to copy these points here. Let me just select one there and select this one here, and come at the bottom end here and select one here. The other one we can add, and I'll come right click and click copy. So if I come to copy here, I want to copy this point to the edge here, edge of this particular plate. Now in here, I want to create a point between these 2 points. So how do you create that? I'll come to dividing points, and I'll snap in here and snap on that spot, and we have that the midpoint. So in between this point and this point, we need a point right there. So we have that point, and slightly this, if you put it in line, it will be slightly closer to our flange. So we have to create another midpoint here. I'm just creating how we can create a random bolt position, but this is okay. Where it is okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick this point here, and right click and come to special copy and pick on that, and snap on that spot and place another point right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to offset this, or I'm going to copy this point at the bottom end here. So what I'm going to do, again, that's not necessary. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this and that, and right click and come to copy and pick on copy from that position and snap on that spot. And I'll place another point right there. So we have our point at the bottom end here. So I'm going to use these 2 points to get the midpoint. I'll come to point here and pick on dividing points. Pick on this point, snap, and snap on this particular point here. Then I'll snap on that point and snap right there. So I'll snap here and snap there. So meantime, I'll have 3 bolts in the middle here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the same point to the other end. So I'm going to select this point, select that point, and select this point here. Then I'll right click and come to copy and pick the 3 points from that point and shift them or copy on the other end. And to confirm that, you can always pick your point of interest and turn the other side. You can see I have the points in location. So I can see they are slightly closer to the edge of the plate. You can always transfer them. You can always copy them to the right location. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click and come to copy. So if I come to copy here, I can come here and place them. I'll shift them slightly to that end, and also I'll do the same thing on the other end. So that should not be a worry. I'll show you how we can always adjust that. So let me select on that member, right click and come to copy and pick on this. Let me just invoke copy command and pick it from that spot and place it right there. So we have this member here. So it's always advisable if we make things uniform. So I'll pick these 3 points and transfer them the other end. I'll transfer them here because the previous one was so close to the edge of our plate. Now the next thing, I want to weld this beam to this plate. And prior to that, let's first of all create a bolt between this plate and the column. Now, to get the bolting tool, I'll come to steel here and come to bolts here. So I'll pick on the bolts, or just click on the bolts. So I'll select this plate and select this beam, and I'll right click to activate that, or to make the tool active. So I have 2 points. I have 2 points to place my bolts. I have three, point 1 and point 2 and point 3. And prior to that, I'll first of all check or confirm the distances between this point and this point and that point. That will help me in setting the bolt position. So let me just snap on that and snap on this. So we have our bolts being rejected. The reason is because the XYZ plane is not in the right position. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reposition or reorient our XYZ plane. And to do that, I'll come to view. I'll come to view and come to more options here. I'll click on more options and pick to the surface. I'll select on that surface. Right click to get off that command. So once I've clicked, you can see the position of our XYZ plane is it is in line with the surface of this particular column. So if I come back and try to place my bolts, I select on I'll pick the bolt tool and select the plate, select on the beam. Not really that beam. Not really that beam. I'll right click once again because I want to bolt this. I want to bolt the column. I want to bolt this column to the plate. So I have to pick on the plate and the beam, and I mean on the column, then right click. So I'll snap on these locations here. I can zoom closer and snap on that spot and snap on that spot. You can see I have the bolts in place, and if I select on that and turn that around, you'll be able to see I have bolts in place. But the center distance of these bolts are not accurate, so we have to confirm that prior to changing the bolt size. So let me just select on the bolt and right click and come to hide selected. So you can see slightly they are in the middle, but not that accurate. So let me first of all confirm the center distance of this particular bolt. I'll right click and come to measure and snap on that center and snap on that spot. So prior to snapping on any, you can see we have 57.5. So that will be the dimensions we will be applying. So we also want to confirm this between this and that. Right click and come to distance, and I want to confirm this and that is 45.5. Remember, this is 57.5. Let me just terminate that command and come here and confirm that from here to here, that is 57.5. So if I bring back my bolts here, show all, and double click on the bolts here and change this to M16 instead of M12, and the bolts position here, I can feed in here. This was 57.5, and we can feed in here 57.5, 57.5. And how many do you want? We want one, just one there, and click OK. It's not responding, and what I'm going to do once again, I'm going to just add 2 there and click OK. 1 times that and click OK. So on the position Y, we need, let me just add 2 there. So that's where we are, and we have the bolts in place. So I'll add another bolt on the other end. Let me just first of all double click and check the bolt size. It's M16, and we confirmed this center to that center. That was 45.5. So let me just first of all confirm this center to that center. That is 45.5. So if I double click on the bolts here and come to bolts position, and I can apply here 45.5 here and click apply. If I click apply, I'll be able to see, or I'll be able to maybe add 2 there and give a space right there and click apply. And if I come to the end, and let me just pick my point of interest and turn that trend, I'll be able to see the bolts are on this side. You can see the bolts are on that side and that side. So we have created a connection here. So the connection is between this plate and the column, and there is no connection between this plate and this beam. So what we have to do, we have to weld this plate to this beam. So which tool can we apply? We can come to weld here and steel and pick automatic to object welding. I'll select on this member and select on that member, and the welding has been created. So to confirm that, always select any of these two members. So I'll select on that, right click and come to select assembly, and you can see this is now an assembly. The beam and the plate has been connected. So that's how you can create your customized or custom connection if we fail to get the best macro to apply the connection here. So it's always advisable, once you've created this connection, we can get rid of these points by disabling the points here. So we want to apply the same connection to the rest of similar connections on the side of this gable. So first of all, remember to save your work, because sometimes the system fails, and if it fails, it disappears with your settings or with the whole work you've just done for that long. So let me just apply the same connection to other parts of this particular gable connection. So in here, to apply this connection to similar parts, I'll use the IntelliClone. So I want to clone this connection to the other parts. So to apply this, just select this particular connection. Make sure you select this joint. You pick any part of this joint within the connection. I'll deselect that and deselect that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to deselect that. So if I come to IntelliClone, and I'll pick here, I'll come to IntelliClone and clone all, and you can see there's 6 joints found in this model. So would you like to connect all? I'll go ahead and click proceed and see if the same connection can be applied. So none has been applied, and we'll move the other side to check whether there's a similar connection has been done. So if we turn this round, there's no connection. So if we go the other end, there's no connection applied. So we'll come back here and try and check whether we can go further and clone this further. I'll select on that, and we'll come to clone all. We can see we have 6 unconnected joints found in this model. So let's try click proceed. There's none. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply the same connection here. So since you've seen how we can create a manual connection, we can apply the same we can apply to all similar connection, like in this column and this column and this far end and that far end. So let's meet then on how we can and add more or improve the gable side of this particular curved truss for the curved truss. So let's meet then. This is Morris Dimba, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and bye bye.